for so many years they were doing it the wrong way, and as the transition out of the kind of Jerry Jones controls everything era, and he's ceded some control to his son, they've tried to start doing things the right way. You got to give them credit. They continue to put a lot of resources in the form of first-round picks to their offensive line, 3 out of 4 years, and all of a sudden you turn around, they got a great offensive line. I mean, that's the way you do it. But because they had those kind of fundamental issues to deal with, like on the O-line, and they also didn't have a very good defense, they needed to look for guys who could go get the quarterback. And when they saw a guy who could go get the quarterback and what they felt was a severely undervalued commodity, because as Brian Cashman said about Aroldis Chapman dealing with domestic violence issue, he was a, quote, distressed asset. They see a distressed asset fall in price, and they feel like they need to scoop it up. But this is the risk you take. And I'm a Giants fan, a big Giants fan. And when I see the Cowboys make moves like they made in that draft to take Gregory, I think, damn it. Why won't Jerry Reese, why don't you guys take, everyone you draft has to be a team captain? Why don't you just go get the most talented guy? But this is why you don't always go get the most talented guy. Because the return on their investment, no, they didn't have to burn as high a pick as they would have otherwise had to burn, but they still used a big asset to go get this guy, has given them nothing back. I mean, they needed help in their defense. Has he helped the defense?
Headaches.
He's not on the field to help the defense. The reason his stock, his value dropped was because of this issue. And there were plenty of other teams who passed because of this issue. But the Cowboys, as is their want, scooped them up, and now they're dealing with this issue. And you have to ask yourself, are these kind of moves and this kind of high-risk threshold culture of the team the reason that in the entire Tony Romo era, where frequently heading into the season, you like them to make the playoffs, you like them to be a Super Bowl contender, they have won a grand total of 2 playoff games, Stephen A., in a decade, 2 playoff wins. And I think this culture has a lot to do with the reason why.
Well, I think that I think you're being very nice, to be quite honest with you, and I applaud you for it because style, grace, class. I'm not blessed with that all the time. I'm not blessed with that all the time. This is one of those moments. The Dallas Cowboys stink, flat out stink. They're pathetic, okay? And I'm not joking. This is just an embarrassment of the highest order, and I'm wondering when the NFL is going to intervene, whether they take over the human resources department or do something, because most organizations would do something. Most governing bodies would do something if they had serial perpetrators, serial offenders of multitudes of violations. They would say, to hell with it, we ain't leaving it up to you anymore. You're selling our brand, our product. We need to do something about it. Now, obviously, that's fool's gold. That's not going to happen because Jerry Jones is not only Jerry Jones, but he's got a lot of money and he's one of the most powerful owners in the entire sport. Plus, he has the #1 brand because they are America's team, which I think is an absolute embarrassment because America should never be synonymous with mediocrity, which is exactly what the Dallas Cowboys have been for the better part of the last 15 to 20 years. They're an absolute joke. And this is the latest example of it. Randy Gregory can't stay off the weed. Okay, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, probably the same problem. Rolando McClain, probably the same problem. Ezekiel Elliott, totally not his fault. Possibly, because the allegations that were levied against him, he has categorically and emphatically denied. We'll be fair. We'll remind ourselves this is America. You are innocent until proven guilty, even though with being with the Dallas Cowboys, that certainly doesn't help your cause. Everywhere you turn, this team gets headlines. They steal headlines all the damn time. I'm annoyed because we have to talk about them because we talk about the news on this show, and the Dallas Cowboys never make
Being a little unfair, Stephen A. Being a little unfair. What? Being a little unfair to the Cowboys here. I hate to be this guy. I'm a Giants fan. As I said, I hate to be this guy. First of all, they can't stay off the weed. Maybe look, some guys just like to get high. I get it. Maybe some are dealing with pain issues. They play.
Stop it!
Hold on.
Don't you dare stop!
They play.
Stop it!
You think they don't deal with those issues?
Excuse me. Is that your argument? Is that your argument? Medicinal purposes? Is that where we're going?
Some of them. It's better than the pills they put them on sometimes.
Do you have proof of this, Matt? Do you have proof of this? Where's your evidence?
All you know is that they can't stay off the weed. Well, they're in a league that can't stop testing for it. They didn't test for it. It wouldn't even be an issue. 1, 2.
Oh, I See,
Two.
so stop the test.
Yes.
Stop the test.
Yes.
That's
Stop
that's
test.
the
Yes.
cure.
As I
That's
mentioned
cure.
the other day, particularly,
let that test
if you
work.
take
let
money,
them come on the football field.
Sure.
Ha!
Well, they're not on the field.
That's your objective.
If you take money from beer companies, sure. I don't think you should test for weed. That's one.
Well,
Two.
I don't see anybody coming on the field drunk.
Wait a minute. Two. Who's saying they're on the field drunk? Two. Or high.
Now I'm going to question whether or not you watched First Take, because if you know anything about me, I keep trying to tell. Molly, do I need you to say it or do I need to say it? Because I don't want to do the accident thing, because the bus accident just the other day with the Dallas Cowboys, but it is apropos. They are an accident waiting to happen. What can go wrong usually does. And what I said last year, coming into the last year's season, last 2015, this is exactly what I said. Molly is an eyewitness to this, Max. I said it don't matter what Romo is doing. It don't matter what does. Mark it down. Something will happen, because this is who they are.
Right.
Whatever can go wrong does, because it's who they are.
You're supporting what I said in the beginning. This is a philosophy of high risk. When you have a high risk philosophy, you're swinging for the fences. You will tend to strike out a lot, but if you get a hold of one, you'll hit it out. That's their philosophy. It may be that their philosophy hasn't paid off because they haven't executed it well enough, but it's not like a high risk philosophy sometimes doesn't pay off.
It's been a
decade. You gotta let a brother make his point, Max. Here's the deal with the Cowboys, okay? Whether it's weed, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's organizational decisions and people you elect to take chances on, whether it's giving a dude that had a grand total of 1 playoff victory on his resume prior to beating Detroit the year before last, and you still give him a $108 million deal, it does not matter. Everything about this organization has shown you that if there is something there to do wrong, they will do it. If there's something there that can go wrong, it will happen. It just.
So what are you saying?
This is
the football gods just jinxed the franchise?
This is the same organization. Hold on. This is the same organization that had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, that make to discuss the decision. We're going to let go of T.O. because he's a cancer. But a bunch of pot smoking and Lord knows what else they be doing up in there. We'll keep them on the team.
I got nothing
but somebody like T.O. had to go years ago.
I got nothing bad to say about T.O. T.O. balled out in the Super Bowl, best player on the field in one leg. They should have never let him go. I agree with that. But the idea that somehow the football gods just don't like the Cowboys, I think, is far-fetched, wouldn't you say?
Really?
Yeah.
I got proof. What you got? 2 playoff victories in over a decade? What do you have?
First of all, Tony Romo, the only issue Romo has is staying on the field. When he's on the field, he's an elite quarterback, Stephen A. And I hate the Cowboys, but you got to admit
in the regular season.
Oh, I'm not.
In the regular season, yes, he is.
I ain't saying he's Eli in the play. I ain't saying he's Eli in the playoffs. Let's just calm down.
All right. Well, that's what counts, isn't it? That's what counts.
Oh, I love it. I'm with Stephen A. on this one. Sorry, Max.
You're damn right.
You two are forcing me to defend the Cowboys.
I love it.
That's right. And you should be ashamed of yourself for defending them.
I'm impressed. We'll leave it there. Up next to the association, KD receiving a warm welcome at Oracle Arena. Seems funny to say that. We'll get into KD's performance in front of his new hometown fans when we come back.